Hey, what is up guys? So that new Starve Venom card that everyone's been talking about, let's go ahead and check it out in action. And I also got a deck profile for you guys at the end. So if you want to try something new, this is a really cool deck. It's got Synchros, it's got Fusions, it's got XYZs. The only thing it doesn't have is Pendulums, which I like. But anyways, so here is the card. Busted out, the Starve Venom Dragon. Busted out with Dragon's Mirror, because it actually is a dragon. So it's two non-token dark monsters on the field, and then obviously if you happen to have Dragon's Mirror, there you go ahead and banish from your side of the field, or graveyard fusion monsters that are listed on a dragon type monster. So that's really easy, just two darks. That's about as easy as you can get playing zombies. But anyways, he's got an Omega, he's got the Star Venom out, and I really like this addition of Sideframe Omega plus Dark Sanctuary. Combining both of these is actually a really good idea. You're going to go ahead and see he goes ahead and gets lucky. It's a 50-50 chance. It's not like he would have died after that, but the other guy takes extra damage because where art thou. But he gets rid of the card with White Spirit Dragon. But running a deck that can bust out Omega so often, really good stuff because you're going to be able to get rid of your opponent's card so they can't really combo you. But if they can combo you, you still have that extra Dark Sanctuary to protect yourself from getting gamed. He goes ahead and busts out a number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. He attacks the Shooting Star. Shooting Star is just going to be like, psych, I'm going to go away for a second. But he'll obviously come back later. And then we also have Omega coming back into the mix. Then we have the Unizombie coming out. Then he's going to go ahead and activate its effect, bring back the Goblin Zombie with Mizuki's effect. Then he's going to go ahead and make number 23 Lancelot, Ghost Knight of the Underworld. That was a really intense tool, busted out a bunch of different things, and then after that play, he also had a solo mode. He could have made probably other things, but he decided to go for this just because it has that ability to attack your opponents directly, and his opponent was obviously pretty low on life points. But anyways, I'm here to also give you guys the deck profile, so let's go ahead and check that out right now. So let's go to the deck edit. So I want to say first off that this deck is going to be more advanced. It's not a very easy deck to play because there are a lot of combo-licious plays. You're just going to have to play the deck yourself. You guys can obviously watch the replay again and you guys can kind of see some of the combos. But at its core, I would say this is a more difficult deck to play. It's not very cookie cutter. There's a lot of options for you guys to make. But anyways, let's go and jump right into it. So first off, I want to thank TON for sending in this awesome replay, and obviously the deck profile is his. This is as is. This is his deck profile, so credit does go to that guy. But anyways, so first off, he's running 2 copies of Zombie Master. He's running 2 copies of Tristan, Knight of the Underworld. This card didn't see play really at all in most zombie decks, but when it's normal summon, you get to target 1 zombie type monster with 0 defense in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So that can be a lot of different things. Because he's playing Minerva in here, he might send a card that he wants to the graveyard, or for whatever reason the monster dies. There's a lot of the zombies actually have really low defense. You can see this is 0, this is also 0, Unizombie is also 0, the Ghost Charon is also 0. So there's a lot of targets with Tristan, but you're just going to add it to your hand. So a little decent effect there, but if you control a zombie type monster, other than this card, it gains 300 attack, becomes 21, you can get over some, other monsters. Get over the Yosendus maybe, right? If they're still on the field from the special summon of like Divine Wind or something like that. But next up, we have 3 copies of Mizuki, pretty standard for zombies. Then we have 3 Goblin Zombies to search out whatever you need to search out for. He's playing 1 copy of Shadow Mist, 1 copy of Isolde, the Bell of the Underworld, then 2 copies of Summoner Monk, excellent card in zombies, then 2 copies of the Shiranu, the Sage. So you can tribute a zombie type monster, special summon a zombie type tuner with 0 defense from your deck. Oh, what do we have? Oh, Unizombie. But if this card is banished, you get to target 1 of your banished Shiranui monsters, except for Sage, and special summon it. If you activate this effect while Style Synthesis is on the field, you can target 2 monsters instead. There's no Synthesis in this build, so you're pretty much not going to get that effect unless you want to try it out yourself. Next up, he's playing 3 copies of Unizombie. So you get to target 1 face-up monster on the field, discard a card, and if you do, increase that target's level by 1. Majority of the time, you will be trying to send Mizuki to the graveyard. That's basically what you want to do as Unizombie. And then in addition to that, you obviously can increase the target's level by 1. Usually that becomes, easy access to level 8 Synchros. Specifically, like Omega in this deck is just the key card you want to make. So I'll kind of try to help you guys get like the basic ideas of this deck. And again, it's just getting out Omega is so key in the deck because Omega has a pretty awesome effect, which we'll get into once we go over Omega. But Pretty much just you want to send Mizuki to the graveyard and abuse Mizuki as often as possible. If possible, you can also get out Goblin Zombies so you can get an extra card later on. Next up, we have the one copy of Ghost Charon, the Underworld Boatman. So you guys saw this card in action. So it was, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no other monsters, you can target one fusion monster in your graveyard, banish both this card from the field and that target, and if you do, special summon one Dragon-type Synchro monster from your extra deck whose level equals the total levels of those two monsters. Had original level if face down. Obviously, you got out the Shooting Star. Pretty cool stuff indeed. And then you can only use the effect of it once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except for Dragon-type monsters. So that's a really good effect, obviously. It's not something that you're going to be busting out too often, so I think one copy is like kind of like a, I went for my cards, my play got negated or something like that, they got destroyed. You can use this card to utilize, it's like, I guess, more of a grind game mechanic, so very excellent card. Then we have a really excellent card here, Book of Life. So you can just special summon one zombie type monster from graveyard and remove and play one monster from your opponent's graveyard. Really, really good effect. Keep in mind, guys, your opponent has to have something for you to banish when you activate Book of Life. A really key effect right there. Next up, Raigeki, 3 Pot of Cupidity. I know we don't have this in the TCG yet, but heck, we don't even have the Star Venom Dragon yet. But Pot of Cupidity, excellent card in very combo-heavy decks. Then we have 3 copies of Dragon's Mirror, so you're going to be able to bust out that Star Venom Dragon. You can also bust out the Dragon Necro Nether Soul Dragon, which we'll get into. We'll talk a little about the card. The card is a pretty decent card. But yeah, 3 copies of Dragon's Mirror, because it's really easy to bust, the combo out in this deck, as you guys can see. And then he's playing 1 copy of Foolish, 2 Twin Twisters, 1 Mass Second Change. And then 2 copies of Dark Sanctuary, which I thought was a really good mix. Any deck that can spam Omegas, sometimes you get OTK'd, so a Dark Sanctuary can really help out with that. In addition to, a lot of cards right now have that effect. I'm sure that you guys have seen. They have this effect where like you get to banish them from the graveyard or stuff like that. But with Master or Dark Law, they're not going to have access to banishing those spell cards or trap cards. A lot of cards are getting so many effects in the graveyard, and this is like a one-sided macro, so it's really, really good in that aspect. Then we have 1 Shonen style Sword of Swallow. So you tribute a zombie type, then target 2 cards on the field and destroy them. So it's like an Acres attack for zombies. Really, really good card, since a lot of the zombies, you can have them be expended anyways. You can only activate 1 of them per turn, but if you only play 1 of them, then hey, you're ready to go. Then the 4 Quad Solemn lineup to round it off for the traps. As far as extra deck, this is a card I kind of want to talk about because I don't think a lot of people really know about this card. It's a relatively newer card, but anyways, it just requires 2 zombie-type monsters. And it must be first fusion summoned. Monsters cannot be destroyed by battle with this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled a monster that had an original level, that monster's attack becomes 0. Also, if that monster is still face up on the field, you get to special summon 1 Dark Soul token that's zombie with question mark level. It's got question mark attack and 0 defense. When summoned, its level and attack become equal to the original level and attack of the monster. You can only control 1 of them. But that's a really good effect, so you're able to, technically if you really want to, maybe you can make something with this card later on, again, because you have access to the Ghost Charon, very excellent effect. But really good card just to have, just because it is also level 8. Again, just going back to the same basic little combo, because oh, look at them, they're both level 8s, perfect target. So anyways, so you're able just to get extra damage out on board. And again, sometimes if you don't finish your opponent off, like Dark Sanctuary is a pretty dirty card, because like if they clear your board, you're going to be able to be like, oh, you want to attack me? You might just lose the game. And sometimes you will put your opponent into a position where they might have to risk it for a 50-50 chance of them losing, or they're going to go ahead and try to get rid of this card and then later on try to game you. So it'll kind of help you stall. I feel like this is the new card that a lot of people are going to be annoyed by, because it is pretty annoying to be like, oh, I have game white, psych, keep on getting heads, and then your opponent wrecks himself. But here's Star Venom Fusion Dragon. So once it's fusion summoned, you can make this card gain attack equal to the attack of 1 face-up special summon monster your opponent controls. So you're going to have a huge amount of attack. It's already 2,800. I'm pretty sure the duel got up to like 5,800. Really good stuff. and then you get to once per turn target one level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls, and then it becomes that name and it gains that effect. And then if this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. So like, it comes out, it's pretty much going to run over anything in the game, and then it can copy effects, and then on top of that, your opponent wants to get rid of it, boom, they lose all of their special summon monsters if they are destroying it. More than likely it's going to get bounced back, but you know what, it's still a pretty good effect. Then we have Dark Law. I think that card is pretty relevant. You saw the Shooting Star see some play right there with the Ghost Charon. And then we have the Red Dragon Archfiend Scarlight. Then we have the Cypher Lord Omega. If you guys want to, I could recommend you guys to put in another one. This card is really, really important though. The reason why is because it has that effect that during your standby phase, you can target one of your banished cards and remove return it to the graveyard. You just put back Mizuki over and over, and you just kind of spam it as often as possible. So I really recommend you guys to try out too, but I wanted to give you guys a deck profile as you guys saw it. You can maybe cut a Black Rose if you want to. Black Rose is really good, same with Moonlight. I think those are excellent cards. There's also the number 22 Zombie Stein. It doesn't see too much play, but it can technically be good because it's got 4,500 attack. And its effect is that once per turn during either player's turn, you detach one material from this card, send one card from your hand to the graveyard, target one face-up card your opponent controls, and changes it to defense position. If you do, negate that card's effect until the end phase. So that's a really, really good effect. And then, of course, we had the number 23. It was able to attack directly, but it has a pretty good effect, is that when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one face of monster opponent controls, destroy it, and then once per turn, during either player's turn, when a spell, trap, or another monster effect is activated, detach one card from this card, negate the activation. So it's like a Solemn on legs, basically. Really, really good stuff indeed. It basically negates anything, other than, of course, you know, other like spell speed 3 stuff. But really, really good card, and obviously, since you're going to be able to attack them directly, you're going to be able to move something off the board because it has that ability to destroy a face-up monster your opponent controls. And then we have the Dark Rebellion, we have the 101 Castell, and then the Minerva to 5. And they round up for the deck profile. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks to you for sending in this awesome replay. Make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap. And it's been your boy Smith, signing out.